Okay, guys, more Terabithia. I just left off at Jess and his super crush on his teacher, Mrs. Edmonds, and how beautiful she is, and how he's just convinced that they're made for each other. Hey, Gus, shut your door, please. Okay, go to your seat. I can hear you. Okay, so I remember all the kids pretended that they hated Fridays and that she was sort of a hippie and she's the only one who wears pants and all the other teachers wear dresses. And remember that they're in a small town, so they're not kind of very hip. Okay. But Jess knew what fakes they were, sniffing hippie and peacenik, even though the Vietnam War was over and it was supposed to be okay again to like peace. The kids would make fun of Miss Edmonds' lack of lipstick or the cut of her jeans. She was, of course, the only female teacher anyone had ever seen at Lark Elementary wearing pants. In Washington and in its fancy suburbs, even in Millsburg, that was okay. But Lark Creek was the backwash of fashion. It took them a long time to accept there what everyone else could see by their TVs was okay anywhere else. So the students of Lark Creek Elementary sat at their desks all Friday, their hearts thumping with anticipation as they listened to the joyful pandemonium pouring out from the teacher's room, spent their allotted half hours with Miss Edmonds under the spell of her wild beauty and in the snare of her enthusiasms, and then went out and pretended that they couldn't be suckered by some hippie in tight jeans with makeup all over her eyes, but none on her mouth. Jess just kept his mouth shut. It wouldn't help to try to defend Miss Edmonds against their unjust and hypocritical attacks. Besides, she was beyond such stupid behavior. It couldn't touch her. But whenever possible, he stole a few minutes on Friday just to stand close to her and hear her voice, soft and smooth as suede, assuring him that he was a neat kid. "We're alike," Jess would tell himself, "me and Miss Edmonds. Beautiful Julia." The syllables rolled through his head like a ripple of guitar chords. "We don't belong at Lark Creek, Julia and me. You're the proverbial diamond in the rough," she'd said to him once, touching his nose lightly with the tip of her electrifying finger. But it was she who was the diamond, sparking out of that muddy, grassless, dirty brick setting. "Jessie!" Jess shoved the pad and pencils under his mattress and lay down flat, his heart thumping against the quilt. His mother was at the door. "Did you milk yet?" He jumped off the bed. "Just going to." He dodged around her and out, grabbing the pail from beside the sink and the stool from beside the door before she could ask him what he had been up to. Lights were winking out from all 3 floors of the old Perkins place. It was nearly dark. Miss Bessie's bag was tight, and she was fidgeting with discomfort. She should have been milked a couple hours ago. He eased himself onto the stool and began to tug, the warm milk pinging into the pail. Down on the road, an occasional truck passed by with its dimmers on. His dad would be home soon, and so would those cagey girls who managed somehow to have all the fun and leave him and their mother with all the work. He wondered what they had bought with all their money. Lord, what he wouldn't give for a new pad of real art paper and a set of those marking pens. Color pouring out onto the page as fast as you could think it. Not like stubby school crayons that you had to press down on till somebody... Sorry, there's some bad words in here, and I'm just going to read them the way that it says. Bitched, and you're breaking them. A car was turning in. It was the Timmondsons. The girls had beat Dad home. Jess could hear their happy calls as the car's door slammed. Mama would fix them supper, and when he went in with the milk, he'd find them all laughing and chattering. Mama'd even forget she was tired and mad. He was the only one who had to take that stuff. Sometimes he felt so lonely among all these females. Even the one rooster had died, and that they hadn't gotten another one yet. With his father gone from sunup until well past dark, who was there to know how he felt? Weekends weren't any better. His dad was so tired from the wear and tear of the week and trying to catch up around the place that when he wasn't actually working, he was sleeping in front of the TV. "Hey, Jessie." Maybelle. The dumb kid wouldn't even let you think privately. "What do you want now?" He watched her shrink 2 sizes. "Well, I got something to tell you." She hung her head. "You ought to be in bed," he said huffily, mad at himself for cutting her down. Ellie and Brenda came home. They came home. Why couldn't he quit picking on her? But her news was too delicious to let him stop her sharing. Ellie bought herself a see-through shirt, and Mama's throwing a fit. Good, he thought. That ain't nothing to cheer about, he said. Brubbity, brubbity, brubbity. Daddy! Maybelle screamed with delight and started running for the road. Just watched his dad stop the truck, lean over to unlatch the door so Maybelle could climb in. He turned away. That darn lucky kid. She could run after him and grab him and kiss him. It made Jess ache inside to watch his dad grab the little ones to his shoulder or lean down and hug them. It seemed to him that he had been thought too big for that since the day he was born. So that part's kind of sad because you can tell he's really jealous that his dad doesn't show him much affection and probably hasn't, it sounds like, most of his life. He doesn't pick him up, he doesn't hug him, he doesn't kiss him, and just he's really jealous because his little sisters get to do all that. So he's so jealous he has to turn away because he doesn't want to watch it. When the pail was full, he gave Miss Bessie a pat to move her away. Putting the stool under his left arm, he carried the heavy pail carefully so none of the milk would slop. It's mighty late with milking, aren't you, son? It was the only thing his father said directly to him all evening. The next morning, he almost didn't get up at the sound of the pickup. He could feel, even before he came fully awake, how tired he still was. But Maybelle was grinning at him, propped up on his elbow. Ain't you gonna run? She asked. No, he said, shoving the sheets away. I'm gonna fly. Because he was more tired than usual, he had to push himself harder. He pretended that Wayne Pettis was there, just ahead of him, and he had to keep up. His feet pounded the uneven ground, and he thrashed his arms harder and harder. He'd catch him. Watch out, Wayne Pettis, he said between his teeth. I'll get you. You can't beat me. If you're so afraid of the cow, the voice said, why don't you just climb the fence? He paused in midair like a stop-action TV shot and turned, almost losing his balance, to face the questioner, who was sitting on the fence nearest the old Perkins place, dangling bare brown legs. The person had jaggedy brown hair cut close to its face and wore one of those blue undershirt-like tops with faded jean cutoffs above the knees. He couldn't honestly tell whether it was a girl or a boy. Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi, he or she said, jerking his or her head toward the Perkins place. We just moved in. Jess stood where he was, staring. The person slid off the fence and came toward him. I thought we might as well be friends, it said. There's no one else close by. Girl, he decided. Definitely a girl. But he couldn't have said why he was suddenly sure. She was about his height. Not quite, though. He was pleased to realize as she came near. My name's Leslie Burke. She even had one of those dumb names that could go either way. But he was sure now that he was right. What's the matter? Huh? Well, is something the matter? Yeah, no. He pointed his thumb in the direction of his house and then wiped his hair with his forehead. Jess Aarons! Too bad Maybelle's girl came in the wrong size. Well, oh, sorry. Wait. He's telling her his name. Sorry, let me do that again. Jess Aarons. Too bad Maybelle's new girl came in the wrong size. Well, he nodded at her. See ya. He turned toward the house. No use trying to run anymore this morning. Might as well milk Bessie and get that out of the way. Hey! Leslie was standing in the middle of the cow field, her head tilted and her hands on her hips. Where are you going? I got work to do, he called back over his shoulder. When he came out later with the pail and the stool, she was gone. And here, little people, is a picture of her. So yeah, she does kind of look like a boy, doesn't she? You guys, it's like blizzarding here again. I feel like I'm not going to start chapter 3 because it's pretty long. So I'll save chapter 3 for tomorrow. I hope that you are listening and learning. It's It's a great book, you guys. You're going to love this just as much as you loved Ivan. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.